No one really noticed the two small girls standing quietly backstage, 12-year-old identical twins with matching dresses, matching braids, and matching wide eyes that tried to hide how terrified they were. Kids their age usually bounced, fidgeted, or whispered excitedly while waiting for their turn on a talent show stage as big as this one, but these two stood still. They didn't speak, didn't move, didn't even seem to breathe. It was as if they were trying to disappear into the dim backstage shadows. Their names were Liana and Lena, born 7 minutes apart, identical in face but different in almost every other way, though no one outside their family really knew that. The stage manager, a tall man with a headset, tapped a clipboard impatiently. "Girls, you're up in 30 seconds. Lena's fingers tightened around her sister's small hand. "It's okay," Liana whispered, even though she didn't fully believe it herself. Their father, sitting in a wheelchair near the wings, raised a trembling fist and mouthed, "You can do this." And just like that, the twins stepped forward, the lights brightened, the massive crowd went silent. The judges lowered their pens, already preparing for yet another nervous preteen act they would politely smile through. No one knew what these two carried in their hearts. No one knew why they were here. No one knew what they had already survived, and no one expected what was about to happen. Liana and Lena weren't like other 12-year-olds. Their life was divided into two parts, the part before their mother passed away and the part after. Before, their home was filled with music, their mother singing as she cooked, their father tapping his feet along to old guitar melodies, the twins twirling in the living room, pretending to be ballerinas performing for an audience of stuffed animals. But after their mother's sudden illness, everything changed. She had been the glue of their world, and when she left, everything cracked. Their father, a hard-working construction worker, fell from scaffolding just months later, leaving him partially paralyzed. Bills piled up. Hospital visits became routine. Meals were often simple, cheap, rushed, but in those long nights when their father cried quietly in the bedroom, thinking the girls couldn't hear, they held each other and whispered, "We can't let the music die." They practiced singing not because they dreamed of fame or stages or applause, but because music was the last piece of their mother they could still touch. Every morning at 5 a.m. before school, they practiced harmonizing in the tiny living room while their father slept. They weren't perfect, not even close, but the more they sang, the more their voices learned to wrap around each other like two branches from the same tree. When a local community center announced auditions for a small talent show, they joined. Not to win, but to feel brave. When they performed, a volunteer recorded it and posted it online. The video went unnoticed for weeks, until a famous judge from a global show saw it by chance. Before they knew it, there they were standing backstage on one of the world's biggest stages. But there was a secret only a few knew. Liana had a heart condition, a serious one. Sometimes her chest tightened so much she couldn't breathe. Lena always stayed beside her during those episodes, rubbing her back, reminding her she wasn't alone. The doctors warned them that stress or overexertion could trigger an episode. They recommended avoiding overwhelming environments. A talent show like this, absolutely not advised. But Liana insisted, "If I don't sing now, I may never get another chance." So they came, not to chase fame, not to seek pity, but to honor their mother, and to create a moment their father would never forget. Still, the audience saw none of this as the twins stood on stage, just two pretty, nervous girls holding hands. The host whispered to the crowd, "Let's see what the twins can do," in a tone that suggested he wasn't expecting much. The judges forced polite smiles, the cameras zoomed in, the music director prepared the usual soft backing track. Just another act, just another audition, or so everyone thought. The judge in the middle leaned forward. "So girls, what are your names?" Lena nudged Liana, who spoke first. Her voice was small. "I'm Liana." "And I'm Lena," her sister added. "Are you nervous?" another judge asked. They nodded honestly. The audience chuckled softly. It was endearing but ordinary. Then came the question that made their father suck in a breath backstage. "Why did you decide to audition today?" The twins looked at each other. Liana stepped closer to her mic. "Because we had someone we loved very much who always told us to keep singing. Lena continued, and we want to honor her and our dad. A faint murmur rippled through the room. The judge smiled kindly. Well, that's beautiful. We can't wait to hear you. Take your time, okay? Liana nodded, and then, for a split second, she swayed. Lena caught her elbow immediately. It was tiny, just a moment, but it didn't escape their father's eyes. Or the oldest judge's eyes. You okay? The judge asked, concern breaking through her professional tone. Liana inhaled shakily. Yes, I'm ready. The backing track started, then stopped. The twins froze. The entire room looked around, confused. The sound engineer waved frantically. His system had crashed. No music, no instrumental, no background track. A murmur grew into a loud wave of whispers. The judges exchanged uncomfortable glances. Singing a cappella on a global show, almost no one dared. Even seasoned professionals stumbled through it. But 212-year-olds hopeless. The head judge leaned forward. Girls, do you want us to reset the system? We can let you step off stage until a no, Lena said suddenly. Her voice came out stronger than anyone expected. We'll sing without it. Liana blinked at her twin. She hadn't agreed to that. Her chest was already tight. Her pulse was racing. The stage lights felt too hot, too bright. Lena, she whispered, but Lena squeezed her hand, grounding her. Just like at home, she whispered, just you and me. The audience went silent. The judges leaned in. The entire auditorium held its breath. And the identical twin sisters, small and trembling but brave beyond their years, took their first, fragile breath in unison, and began to sing. Their voices rose, soft at first, like two delicate threads weaving themselves into a tapestry no one expected. Two voices, identical yet distinct. Two heartbeats desperately trying to stay steady. Two souls refusing to let fear win. The melody they chose wasn't a pop hit or a trending song. It was an old lullaby, a song their mother used to sing when they were very little, a song that belonged to their childhood, their sorrow, and their hope. Lena's voice carried the melody, warm and steady. Liana's voice danced above it, filling the room with a fragile, crystalline harmony. The crowd stopped breathing. The judges forgot their pens. It was as if time itself paused. Halfway through the chorus, Liana's voice quivered, not from nervousness, but from pain. Her chest tightened, the lights blurred, her knees wobbled, her condition was flaring. Lena noticed instantly. Without missing a note, she shifted, lowering her volume, supporting her sister's harmony, adjusting the key so Liana wouldn't strain. It was instinct. It was love. It was the purest act of selflessness the crowd had ever witnessed. The judges stared, stunned. They understood what was happening, even before the audience did. Liana struggled, but her sister held her through the music, carrying more of the harmonies, guiding her pitch gently, never letting her fall behind. Lena wasn't trying to sound good. She was trying to save her sister. Tears streamed down their father's face backstage. Halfway through the second verse, Liana's knees buckled, but she didn't fall, because Lena reached out and supported her waist while still singing, voice unwavering, eyes fierce and protective. The crowd gasped. A whisper rolled through the arena. They're not just singing, they're holding each other up. And then something magical happened. The entire auditorium, thousands of strangers, grew perfectly silent. You could hear nothing but the twins' voices, trembling but determined, rising together in a harmony full of love, heartbreak, and hope. As they reached the final lines, Liana finally found her strength again. She lifted her chin, met her sister's eyes, and gave the softest smile. Together they sang the last note, long, clear, impossibly beautiful. The moment the sound faded, the world froze for one breath. 2 breaths, 3. Then the crowd exploded. It wasn't applause, it wasn't cheering, it was a roar. A wave of emotion, awe, and disbelief crashing through the arena. People stood, judges stood, even the technical crew stood. Their father covered his mouth with both hands, sobbing uncontrollably, and then the middle judge slammed the golden buzzer with such force it echoed through the room. Gold confetti shot into the air, raining down around the twins like tiny pieces of a miracle. But the girls didn't look up at the flashing lights or the cameras or the cheering audience. They looked at each other. 12 years of shared secrets, shared fear, shared responsibility, shared grief. Everything was in that look. "You did it," Alina whispered through tears. "No," Eliana corrected softly, "we did it." The judges rushed onto the stage as crew members carefully brought their father out from the wings. Lena and Liana ran to him, confetti sticking to their hair, tears streaking their faces. Their father opened his arms as far as he could and pulled them close. "I'm so proud of you," he whispered into their hair. "Your mother would be smiling so big right now." One judge knelt beside them. "You girls didn't just sing," she said. "You showed us what love looks like." Another added, "That wasn't a performance, that was a message, a reminder of how powerful compassion can be." The oldest judge, known for her stern critiques, had tears in her eyes as she said, "You didn't need the lights, the music, or even the stage. The world needed to hear your hearts." In the days that followed, the clip of their audition spread across the world. People cried. Parents hugged their children tighter. Siblings sent messages to each other saying, "I'm grateful for you." Communities raised money for the twins' father's medical treatments. Doctors offered help with Liana's condition. But something else happened too. Kids who had lost parents wrote in saying the twins helped them feel seen. Teachers shared the video in classrooms to show students what bravery looks like. Strangers left comments saying the twins reminded them that kindness, even in small doses, could change someone's life. Lena and Liana didn't become famous because of their voices. They became beloved because of their hearts. Months later, in an interview, a journalist asked them, "What do you want the world to remember about your performance?" The twins looked at each other, then back at the camera. "That no one is too young to make a difference," Lena said. "And no act of kindness is too small," Liana added. Their father smiled proudly beside them. And somewhere in the quiet corners of the world, many people remembered that message, whispering it to themselves on days when they needed hope. The twins continued singing, continued helping their father, continued honoring their mother's memory. But they also did something simpler, something deeper. They inspired people to look at each other with gentler eyes. And because of that, no one ever underestimated them again.